So today we'll be discussing about the layout editor section of our Android Studio. So whenever we make any sort of a project or we are working on any sort of a project, we just encounter two versions of a single name, like in this case activity main.kt, activity main.xml. And for today's video, our focus is on this .xml file. What it does, it just provides the user interface of our app, like how our screen is going to look. In this case, there you can see the text views, the code is written over here, some sort of things are going on here. But if you focus a lot, you'll figure out that in this .xml file, or most specifically we call this our layout editor file, there are three sections in the top right corner. One is the code, in which only a code will be visible. Other is the split, in which code plus our screen is also visible. And third one is our design, in which we just drag and drop our views, and impact is going to affect it in our screen, in our app. So yeah, that's all about these three. And the best one, if you're a beginner, you should start with the design section. Just search out here in the palette section. There are two components. There are two sections over here. One is the component tree, other one is the palette section. You can just, in the palette section, all your views are available. So you might be wondering, I'm saying views. What are these views? Basically, everything, any type of button, like in this case, this hello world, this is a text displayed. This is called a view. If there is a button over here in the screen, that is a view. If there is something called image, that is a view. Anything you can see with your eyes is view in Android Studio. And this code, I want your attention to be drawn towards this code also. Constraint layout, why it is written. You understand that view is there, that maybe this is a text view, some properties are there of the text views you have written over there. But what is this thing? Constraint layout, it is going to store each and every of the views inside this. So you can think it as this constraint layout is that area which is going to store your views. In this case, this constraint layout has the properties of height and width as match parent. Means this constraint layout is completely over there. It is completely like border of our screen. So this is text view is going to be view, which is going to display this hello world. There are several other views which we can figure out in our design section, such as this text, which contains text view, which we already have dropped. If we want one more, then we can just drag and drop from here. There are buttons in this one, from where we will just drag and drop. In a design section, that's the beauty of design section. You just drag and drop, widgets, you will get image view, some other views, you just drag and drop over here, and then it will ask you to select an image. Suppose I selected this one, and that's available, and automatically our code is also going to change. You'll see that there's a text view, something. This is which one is this one? This is the text view, this one, the button, this one, and the image, this one. So yeah, everything is there. But if it's so easy, then why we use code? That's a very good question, and the answer to that one is coding is quite easy. That drag and drop things are a little bit cumbersome to do. So that's why we generally do code. And you can see that each and every step, every of our views have some things common. It has ID, this text view has ID, this has ID, this has ID, and this has ID. Some text is always there in your each and every view. In most of cases, this has text. Image view doesn't contain any text, so yeah, that's the other case. This has also text. Text views also contain a text. And now all have some width and height. That's also one of the common property. And you can see that if you hover towards these views, or which recently I have added, that there is a warning that they are saying that missing constraints. So the constraints are missing, which are there in this one. Like I have constrained it with the top to the top of where it is going to be placed. You can see my hello world is just centrally placed. How? Only because of these constraints. So we'll discuss about the constraints now. What are they? But for the sake of just simplicity, I'm just going to delete all the other views which I have added. So yeah, let's discuss about the constraints. But before the constraints, let's also discuss about the layout height and layout width. To understand the layout height and width, just go to your design section and I'm going to select this hello world. You'll find that under the declare attributes, there's layout width and layout height. If I just hover towards this one, you'll get there is two options available. One is 0 dp and other one is a wrap content. By default, it has wrap content, but now we are going with the 0 dp or match constraint. 0 dp, this result is going to be, you have seen that as soon as I click on this 0 dp or match constraint, this is come. Like it stretches itself horizontally. Why? Because it's already constrained with the left and the right sections. That's why 0 dp has this impact. If it is not constrained and we want the same impact, we need to write match parent instead of wrap content. We need to write match parent, but it is already constrained. You can see that constraint left to left off and constraint right to right off. That's why with 0 dp width is 0 dp. Just think in your mind, 0 dp width means no width, but still it completely stretches out instead of just squeezing. It completely stretches out. That's only because of these things. Because I have these two lines, left to left off and right to right off. I have already done them with the parent. So that's the impact of a views, impact of a layout height and width. And you can also do the same things if with the height. And now you see what if I convert it into wrap content, what happens is that it just automatically comes out to the normal one. It means that how much words are written in it, it will adjust accordingly and make a box accordingly. So that's about width and height, layout width and the height in this edit text. Sorry, I think it's a text view. Yeah, it's a text view. And about these views, you can use accordingly. So there's a text hello world. You can write whatever you want to write. I'm fine with the hello world written in it. And these four lines, constraint top to top of, bottom to bottom of, right to right or left to left of. What are they going to do? First one, bottom to bottom of. It means if you just bottom, here is the bottom, it is attached to the bottom of our constraint layout, which is almost the border in this case because it's match parent, its width and height are match parent. So constraint layout is just like this. It's completely at the borders. Then left to left of parent means left side is attached with the left side, right side is attached with the right side, top side is attached with the top side. That's about the constraints. These all things, and we just make our this view at the center. One more thing which I want to tell you about the left to left and right to right of that. If you just delete this one, you can find that they are just at this position. There is some alternative attribute for that same thing, is that constraint start to start off. I'm also going to do it with parent and constraint and to end of that also parent. So why I have written left to left off, why I have converted left to left off to start off and right off to end off, because in some countries developers might get confused which side is left and which side is right. So to just remove that thing, to remove that possibility of error, the Android suggests you to just use start to start off and end to end off instead of left and right. That makes things a bit easier. So yes, that's all about these views, these layout editors. So I hope this video will serve the purpose to come here. If you want to learn more about the views, I will also put some link on the description, which is official documentation of Android developers regarding these views. You can also read from their official documentation. So yeah, that's all about this one. Hope you like this video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching this one.